moved. And the dubious moved. Well, you're right in that area, yeah. And then and some of you are really like, okay, you're mixing it up. But there is a slogan that used to go for this particular philosophy, which is change your thinking, change your life. It's really difficult to change your thinking if you won't even change your chair. So, just saying. So people like Uncle Jack and others, if you have ever thought that you might want to see how things are at a different purview, you have permission to, while I'm talking, to change your seats. Go ahead, you can do it. Just change. Fine. Well, now we know what I get to work with today. It's okay. Oh, Leo's up in the front. Yeah! Okay. Woo! Good stuff. You know, spirituality should not be a football game. You don't get to just watch and cheer if we really want to get all out of it. This is now the new, even though I'm up here because I'm short, although nobody knows until I actually get down on the ground. People will say, you're really short. But this is so people can see me, but really this is it. It's not this and you. This is it. So you'll have an opportunity to become a part of today, all right? So just know that that's going to be happening. I'm warming you up. The other thing is that I want to say is that if after this service is over, you have a kind of a resonance with what we've said, not just myself, but the other people that talk. If there's a resonance, if you kind of feel like something is touching you, I encourage you to fill out a card that looks like this. It's called a connection card. It will be in the offering basket as it goes by later. You can fill it out, return it to me or anyone with a name tag. We'd love to have you do that. And if you do so, then you become part of our extended email community. And there's a lot going on here, much more than what happens on Sunday, much more than what happens after this service. There's a lot going on, and we want to let you know about it because there's many, many, many ways we can support you, more than we could ever tell you about. So it's really helpful if we can just send you information. That's the other thing. And then this is the first time this year we get to love on anyone having a birthday, because your birth is important. And so someone demonstrated what to do. They're standing up because they're having a birthday. Anyone over here, birthday? Way back there, way back there. Birthday? We want to give you a gift. You are important. So that's it. Great. Well, thank you for being with us. This is the part where we start to interact together. I'd like you to just take a deep breath with me. Let that breath be a part of shifting gears. So much is going on in the world, and so much is going on within us. So much is going on. And we really get to listen to Spirit today and interact with Spirit. To begin that process, we need to find within ourselves the place of silence. I'm not sure who said it, but I love it, and it is that silence is the language of God. Everything else is interpretation. So we're going to be still for a few moments, not minutes. Some people just wanted to leave. Let's few moments.
And continuing in prayer, I invite you to take this moment now to go deeper within, quieting the mind, releasing any thoughts of the day or the activities, and just allowing the presence of Spirit to ease into your whole being, filling it with the love and the peace that's always there. waiting for the receptivity to give it presence. So take this next few moments then just to experience that love and peace. And coming back, let us just set our mind on maintaining that presence of peace in our being throughout the day. And so it is.
Oh, I am very excited because this is one of my favorite Sundays, and I'm going to talk about intentions. But another reason I'm really excited about today is that we're bringing back something from last year, which was the opportunity to hear from others about how they apply what we teach to their life. We call them power talkers because they got power and hopefully they speak powerfully. Oh, yes, they do. And they have something powerful to say. So please welcome Cynthia Clay.
Don't go to the intentions retreat unless you intend to live a thriving life in 2015. That's all I have to say. I last year watched my husband Leo, who's in the front row, go to the intentions retreat, set the intention to do more with his music, and watch what happened when he did that. And as he started to write, play, compose, record, perform, it was pretty awesome. So I had the opportunity to go to the Intentions Retreat in 2014 in January. And it's been a really amazing year. So it's funny because I pulled out my little notebook and looked at everything that I had said I wanted to do. It was like, whoa, look at all the stuff that happened. So a couple of things. First of all, I want to say I really got that setting intentions is not the same as setting goals. So if you don't like setting goals, this has nothing to do with that. It's not the same as making resolutions. It has a totally different effect in your life, and it did in mine. So if I set an intention that I'm going to travel internationally, then as opportunities come to travel internationally, I can say yes. So what it became for me was a year of yes. Like going, oh, yes, that's aligned with my intention. Yes, I'll do that. So that living a life of yes was part of then my theme that I set, and you do this at the Intention Retreat too. My theme this year was joyous discovery, thriving life. I decided that's how I wanted to live this year. And so I picked out 4 intentions. I had more, but I picked these 4 because they all kind of work together, and they actually sort of look contradictory on the surface. So these were my 4 intentions. My intention this year, one of them was to build a solid partnership with Leo that brings out the best in each of us, in each other. One was to travel 8 weeks out of the year and work 30% less. One was that my daughter Grace, who's starting her freshman year in high school this year, would have a thriving year. She would experience a thriving year and flourish in her high school experience. And one was that I would revise our flagship leadership development program for our company that was called NetSpeed Leadership, so still was called that. Anyway, so those are the 4. And when I looked at these individually and thought of them as goals, I got really tired. But when I started to hold them as intentions, everything shifted. So just to give you a couple examples of how my intention to build a solid partnership with Leo that brings out the best in each of us manifested in December. We decided to buy tickets to the last game of the Seahawks season. They were frickin' expensive. So it was like I researched it and I called him and went, honey, oh my God, these tickets are so expensive. Should we do this? And we decided together, yes, we would do it. Leo's like, I've never been to a professional football game. And I went, neither have I. But we decided to do it. We were totally into it. This is our family Christmas present. We did it. And within like a week, Leo calls me and he goes, I've been invited to sing on the same Sunday at a church. Now, this could have gone to a very dark place. But in that moment, and knowing that my intention is for both of us to bring out the best in each other, that I went, find out what time the service is. I bet you can do both. And so he did, and we could. We took separate cars. He met us at the stadium after he played at the service. We had a beautiful time without any conflict there. Do you see that? It was like, oh, cool. Traveling 8 weeks out of the year and working 30% less. I got to tell you, that seems in direct contradiction to me in revamping our leadership program from top to bottom, which literally was 24 modules built for the face-to-face classroom and the virtual classroom, so really 48 training programs. And up until I went to the Intentions Retreat, I had no idea how to do that without working myself to death. It just felt like too much. But at the Intentions Retreat, when I said, but I really want that, that's really what I want, everything unfolded like I knew how to do it. So I really got that clear intention comes with the means. It opens up how that will happen. And what ended up happening was I actually delegated and learned how to trust other people. So my team took it on, and they did an amazing job. In like 6 months, we had this completely revamped program that's gorgeous and bringing new clients in, and I worked 30% less and traveled about 7 weeks. I went to Greece with the CSL trip. Yay, my CSL trippers. I took my family to Williamsburg and to Washington, D.C. I went to Nicaragua. So I didn't quite make 8 weeks, but I've never traveled 7 weeks in 1 year. It was really very cool. The last thing I'll say is that the fourth intention I want to talk about was my daughter loving her high school experience. And because of her needs, the best high school for her is in Burien, and we live 5 minutes from here. So we chose that, and I committed to her having a thriving, flourishing experience in her high school as a freshman, and I drive to Burien back and forth twice a day. If you had told me that I would spend 3 to 3.5 hours in the car every day and love it, like a year ago, I would have gone, are you nuts? But it has been a wonderful time with her. We have a great time. I discovered the Waze app. I know 100 different ways to get through downtown Seattle during rush hour traffic. And I've enjoyed the process of supporting her, creating her thriving year in high school. So what I want to say about all of that is those 4 things on the surface, held as intentions, are so much more powerful than calling them goals, and have made it possible for me to have this amazing, thriving year. So I guess that's what I'll say is say yes to the Intentions Retreat and intentions and see what happens in your life.
Wow. Well, I took some of my own advice that I gave last week. I've been clearing out space in my house. I've been really clearing out a lot of stuff in my mind, and I've been clearing out my calendar and doing some forgiveness work, so I'm clearing out my soul. And that feeling of accomplishment allows me to move into this week because I will be going on retreat, and I will be looking at what I'm going to be asking you to look at. And it's following on an experience of accomplishment. I have more faith and trust in myself to contemplate greater good. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to see how we create this greater good idea. Someone wanted to have a worksheet on how to do the Intentions Retreat because they couldn't go on next Saturday, and I thought, I just can't do that, but I can talk. Don't write well, but I can talk. It's a good thing I have this job. Anyway, so I'm going to give you the whole process in a nutshell. So to help you with that, you have your program, and you've got the bottom of this. Don't take a lot of notes. You'll remember better if you just write. I'm going to give you a number and just give a word or two that'll help recall what's going on. So that later on, honestly, whether you get the workbook or go to the workshop or not, you'll be able to do this. The reason that I believe in the workshop is because you'll take this home and you'll think about doing it, but there will be a distraction. Great thing about being in a workshop, I limit distractions. Therefore, you can be more focused. That's really the difference. So what you do is you pay to somebody. You pay the Center for Spiritual Living to keep the distractions from you and to keep you moving forward. But here's the outline. So you'll have it. You'll have the outline if you want it, if you choose to use it. Number one, I want to address both sides of your brain. Both sides of your brain. There's a part of your brain that has been keeping track of things that you'd like. So the first thing is just start writing things you'd like to be, do, and have in 2015. Just let your mind flow. And if nothing happens, it's okay. Give yourself some time to do it some more. The reason I say that is because I got this idea from going to a retreat that we actually sponsored with Edwin Gaines. And she asked us to do that. And I thought, I was coming from this really holy place and I don't want nothing. I am so satisfied. Really, I did. And then all of a sudden, the dam burst. There was a bunch of stuff I wanted. I mean, little things, big things, small things. You know, there's certain types, I want certain types of sheets. I do. Why do hotels get them? I mean, really, you got to say it to have it. I finally, it was, I don't know how many years ago, this was a long time ago, maybe 18 years ago, I wrote down, someone else cleans my house. And from then on, someone else has cleaned my house. But I didn't even know I wanted that. Do you see what I'm saying? Just write it down. Write it down. Be, do, have. Maybe it'll be a have. Maybe it'll be a do. A do for Cynthia when she found out about going to Greece was to go to Greece. A do for me will be to have a road trip with my husband. He likes road trips. He loves them. Put the dog in the back, off we go. So, road trip. Be is perhaps to be a certain way, and I've had a lot of B's. I want to be this way with that person. I want to be this way with that person. I want to be this way when this happens. A lot of being. So write it down. This gives your imagination an opportunity to express itself because your imagination's working anyway. For those people who say they don't have an imagination, no. You just think that this is normal, that you think that way. That's your imagination. Funnel it. Say, what would you like to be, do, and have? Oh, things will start to unfold. That gives a part of your mind an opportunity to be listened to, heard, and recorded. Number one. 101 things or 100 things you'd like to be, do, and have. Second one, this moves more into intuition. Intuition, as Ernest Holmes defined it, is the voice of God within you. It is how Spirit speaks to us. It's called intuition. So beyond what you can conceive of, and that's just nice to get that out of the way, then ask what else might happen. So the way that I do it is what is the highest ideal or highest idea that Spirit has for my life this year? Now, I don't mean Spirit as something other opposed to me, like something out there. I mean the Spirit in me, that which is the expression of the divine personifying itself through me. What would its idea be? This is giving intuition a voice. What's a high and holy intention for my life? What's the highest ideal for me? In a moment, not in a moment, but in a few minutes, we'll have an opportunity to be still and listen to that, to collectively. And you'll be able to fill this out if you choose to. Third, after you have done all that, and you create some sort of intentions out of that. For instance, some of your intentions, meaning I intend. Intend means to send forth. I intend. So your intentions would come out of things like really what I want and also what I'm inspired to express or to have. So there's no better or worse intention. Actually, I'm a better person with better sheets. Just saying. So it's not like, oh, this is a low intention. You know, the high and holy intention is what your soul wants to express, but your body needs to be comfortable too. So all of this is good, and out of that you form intentions. Now here's the deal. Once you have an intention, you need to decide, power of decision, you need to decide to accept that inspiration and go with it. You need to decide to focus on what you've been inspired to do, to make it real in your life. That's the decision. That's the crux of things, I think. For instance, I'm not sure this is a high and holy intention, but this comes out of my wanting to be more masterful. I looked at the areas where I give away my power, and I give away my power where it comes to computers. Oh, honey, you know, I just, I do. When it comes to, when it comes to a computer, if I can't figure it out, someone will do it for me. In fact, it's gotten so bad that at work, I can't do certain things without Heather sitting close to me. Just as sort of a talisman, you know. Heather, I know you know how to make this work, so I'm going to work this out. I want to be computer comfortable. It will be an intention for this year. I don't need to be an expert. I don't need to do wild and wonderful things. I just want to be comfortable. When something new is presented to me, I want to be comfortable knowing that I can do something with it. Computer comfortable, that will be an intention. But I have to decide, not just be inspired. Wouldn't it be great to just be comfortable around a computer? I have to decide to make that an intention. Do you see the difference? Decision is very powerful because it is the key to all self-mastery. It is the key to your kingdom. Your kingdom is the way you see things. Your mind, your consciousness is your kingdom, and the key to that kingdom is your power to decide how you will react, what you will attract, what you will say yes to, and what you'll say no to. It's incredibly powerful. So I encourage you to look at that. Raymond Charles Barker, and by the way, this is new for us. This year we're going to have a book of the month so that we can start studying things together. I will not go over them. I'm not going to go through the pages. You won't come on a certain Sunday and I'll be talking about this chapter. I'm just encouraging some of you to be reading it so that we're studying together, because what you study spiritually feeds you. So you're either studying what's going on Facebook, you're studying what's happening on CNN, you're studying what's happening in sports, and that feeds you, or you're just getting a better balanced meal. I'm not saying don't study those things, but study something else. And so what if we studied things together? And what if you got a book study? And what if you talked about these ideas with other people? You know, I know that I've been with My Song, I think, almost 9 years now. 9 years? And we get together and we support each other, but what if we shared our version of what we're reading so that someone else got an idea I didn't, and all of a sudden I get a bigger view just by hearing what other people think. So I encourage you to look at that. But back to this. Raymond Charles Barker says that when we exercise our power of decision, we're becoming spiritually mature. And if we are just always in reaction, we're being spiritually immature. How many of you know that you've had a year like that, where you responded well, but it was always in response? I haven't talked to the practitioners about this, but I don't care. But I notice that the practitioners of this church are so willing to pray for one another. So I'm on the list that goes out, and people will say, pray for this or pray for that. And everybody chimes in, and we're praying for the sister and the dog and everything. We just are so there for each other. And I'm thinking, we're always responding to a problem. What if we shifted that and said, I have this high intention to do this, and I have this high intention to do this. See the difference? And then we wouldn't be responding, we would be co-creating a greater future for each other. Ooh. Yay. So much more fun. Actually, I think it was Carl Jung who said that the solution to any problem is to get a bigger one. Think about it. Really? What if the problem is, how do I double my income this year? Whoa. It's exciting. I love this time. This is powerful. So you're going to, work on decision. And, I lost my notes. I don't want to miss anything. Number 4. So first one is make a list. You're using your imagination. Second is listen to what Spirit wants to direct you into. That's intuition. Third is decide to follow one of those and make it a priority. Fourth, make your intention welcome. Make your intention welcome. You can't make things happen. And let's just try this on. Remember I said we were going to be interactive? I want you to think of something big you'd like in your life in 2015. Raise your hand if you've got it. You're not going to have to tell anybody. Nobody's going to come down with a microphone. Okay. Now, if I say you're going to make this happen, how's that feel? Scary. What else? Tired. All of a sudden, you got to leave here and I'm going to make it happen. And if you don't know how to make it happen, you're already a failure. Right? Now, take the same thing. Raise your hand if you have it. Take your same thing. Now, I say to you, you're going to make it welcome. How does that feel? Yay. It feels yay. How else? Open. All you have to do is make it welcome. God knows how to make it happen. An illustration that I used on I think it was New Year's Eve, but I'm going to use it again, is that I was doing the same thing I'm talking to you about. I was 28 years old, and I really wanted to know what large, wonderful Fortune 100 company I was going to join so that I could excel and expand and become, vice president of marketing or something. And I don't know. I was 28. And so I was doing all sorts of research into companies. I was doing research into fine-tuning what niche I was interested in. I really wanted to have a career, not a job. I wanted to express my bountiful talents. Anyway, I was 28. I was just, sympathy here, or at least understanding. I wanted to do all of this, and I was praying, okay, God, give me direction, give me direction, give me direction, give me direction. And then I think that the direction was always there, but I avoided it. So finally I heard, you're going to be a minister. Ooh. That's not any fun. Now here's the deal. I knew it had to be divinely inspired because that's the last thing I would choose to do. Last. I mean, that idea did not come from this head. And because I believed in God and that God had given me a direction, I was then going to make it happen. So I applied to, at that time, this particular denomination only had a ministerial school in Los Angeles, and I kept applying with my national company to lots of openings in the LA area. And I'd apply for one and always refused, and I'd apply for one and was refused, and apply for one and was refused. But every time I was refused or my request for transfer was declined, they'd say, but we have something for you in Seattle. Now, after the third time, I started to pay attention. Because we do. I hope how many of you have had 3 notices? Better pay attention. So after the third notice, I paid attention and I went to Seattle. The first Sunday I was in Seattle, I went to this church, known by another name at that time. It was Science of Mind Center. It was over in Northgate. The minister was Dr. Jim Munson. That was the very first time that I ever went to church in this particular community, and they announced they were opening a ministerial school. Let's all say it together. Woo! So, why do I say that? I could not make it happen, but I could make it welcome. The other way that I made it welcome was that when I found out that the classes would happen at night and I was traveling a lot for that company, I applied for different jobs so that I could have evenings available. I wasn't making it happen, I was making it welcome. You can make it welcome. Intuition will guide you. Intuition worked after the third time. If you're refused, and it's not like I was not a good employee. I was a good employee. I honestly thought I could have my pick. And so when there was refused 3 times, I had to use my intuition said, maybe there's something else going on here. Your intuition will guide you on how to make something welcome. And out of that welcoming consciousness, you create a plan. You don't plan on how to make it happen, you plan on how to make it welcome. And what I've noticed about plans is they unfold slowly, unfortunately. You're not going to know how to get there, but you will know if you listen what to do today, and what to do today, and what to do today. I remember being around Cynthia, and she had all these plans about how she was going to be able to take care of her children and go on vacation. And she tried to make it welcome. That plan fell apart. Then another plan emerged, and then that, it just is a process, which means you get to be dancing on the field with spirit. You're not alone. This will hone your ability to intuit what the divine is moving in, through, and as you. It's such a great dance. It's a beautiful dance. I encourage you to think about it and to act on it. You will, if you play this game, you will become conscious of the nudges. The divine pushes. Now, on the 10th, next Saturday, you'll have time to create a plan using your intuition and the support of others for at least one intention, hopefully more. And honestly, if you allow yourself to use mind mapping, the intentions, the plan will start to emerge. It just come out of you. But the plan is not to make it happen. The plan will be, how do I make this welcome? Because hopefully you'll take on at least something, one thing you can't possibly do by yourself. And that's called a big, hairy, audacious intention. Everyone should have at least one big, hairy, audacious intention. I've just known Cindy for so long. For her to say, I'm going to work 30% less and accomplish more. Boy. Big, hairy, audacious intention. See, how many of you know you have had intentions before, but there were things you already figured out how to have happen? How's Spirit going to have a fun time with your life if that's all you do? Spirit lives through us. I think every person that's ever accomplished anything in the world, whether it was socially or politically, culturally, artistically, financially, it was someone who listened to something nudging them and Spirit's going, oh, goody, we're going to have such a good time. New stuff. Anyway, I'm so excited. Oh, next last thing. Number 5, get support. I was talking to a woman who also went to the Intentions retreat last year, and she was going down 11 things that she accomplished, and some of them were big, hairy, audacious things. She had to totally reframe who she thought she was to accomplish some of these things. Her self-identification was one thing, and she had to be a totally new person. Big, hairy, audacious. And I think one of the reasons that she accomplished it is she's very good at reaching out to a small group of people called a Sangha and telling them how she was doing and asking that they continue to support her along the way through prayer, with prayer. So she was not on her own. And I have so much appreciation and admiration for her, because my upfront tendency is to do it on my own. I don't want people to see when it gets messy. I don't want people to see when I'm down, and I don't want to seem too prideful when I'm up, so let me just do it alone and I'll get back to you. But if you're doing something that is out of the realm of comfort, a big, hairy, audacious intention, people help. To say what you're doing and have someone recognize it and support you in it is beyond helpful. There is no spiritual leader ever that I know of, except for Hindu spiritual leaders, but they were they're myth. The ones that we know actually were human, all had a posse. No one did this alone. So I encourage you to get a Sangha, and to help you, if you choose to be supported, I'm actually going to have a Sangha speed dating night. It's in your program. I think it's, the 12th or something like that. It's on a Wednesday. And if you want a Sangha, you'll hold up and say, I want a Sangha. I want to meet on Wednesday nights and see who else wants to meet with you. I want to make this easy. Now, it may not work out, but you're just making welcome the opportunity to have a support group. You might do it by time availability. You might do it by location availability. Maybe you live in South Seattle and you want to not travel, so you'd like to have a Sangha in South Seattle. Maybe it'll be interest-centric. Like, I want to do this, and I want people around me that will do that also. I put it out there first service that I want to have a Sangha of people who are artistic, who actually want to sell their art. I've got a Sangha. Because that's a totally different thing. We would talk about and pray about, how do you sell your art? Woo-hoo-hoo. If you've got a business that you want to start up, maybe it'll be that you want to retire and you want to get through that hurdle. I don't know. But support is so important. the Buddha said we take refuge or we get our support from the Buddha, which is consciousness, the Dharma, which is the law, and the Sangha, which is spiritual community. So I'm so excited about this. And in a moment, if you choose, you're going to have an opportunity to have someone validate your intention. That's when I said this is going to be a group affair. Truly, you're going to have an opportunity for someone to hear you and affirm with you that you can, that this intention will happen this year. Just giving you a heads up. So if you're really comfortable, start getting uncomfortable. Number 6. Sixth thing, get a theme. A theme is how you want to go through the year. An intention is a what. A purpose, which I haven't even touched on, is a why. Theme is a how. How's it going to happen? So, Cindy, what was your theme again?
Joyous discovery, thriving life.
Joyous discovery, thriving life. So she got to discover 100 ways to get through Seattle during rush hour traffic. Sounds good to me. Some people will pick things like easy and graceful, what happens with your theme is that you get to then ask yourself, how am I doing this? Is this matching my theme? Is this matching my theme? And sometimes it happens right away, and sometimes if you're like me, it's a very slow process. For at least 3 or 4 years, I had a theme of time is my friend. About the 4th year, I finally got it. Time's now my friend. I no longer have an issue with time. I can't believe it. I still have the same amount. But it's not an issue anymore. I don't know what happened. But I stuck with that theme. Now my theme for this year, I'm sure, is that I love God and serve others. One of the ways that I'm going to love God and serve others more efficiently is to have an intention of being comfortable with computers. See how that all works together? Okay. Talk. Now we're going to do. So just take a deep breath. This is what's going to happen. We're going to spend a few moments with this intention card. On this, you're going to say, what do you want to make a priority this year? Maybe it'll be your health. Maybe it'll be some family relationships. Maybe it'll be a career choice. Maybe it will be recreation, creativity. You choose. You decide what your priority will be. That's what I'd like you to do right now. Just to decide what priority you'll have. It doesn't mean that's the only thing you get. This is not the candy store and you only get one pick. But for the intentions of this moment, choose just one. Now take a deep breath. And let us ask the High and Holy One that resides within the temple of your own heart, the High and Holy One that lives within the cave of your being, the cave of your heart, the holy tabernacle. There is a place within you where Spirit has always, always burned brightly. That Spirit has never been diminished. It's never been put out. Now, sometimes we close the door on it, but the flame of truth, the flame of intelligence is always within you. So use this moment to turn to it. And ask your highest self, your high wisdom self, the God of your understanding, ask, what is a high and holy intention for my life this year? Ask yourself, with God as my partner, what can I intend? What would be a big, hairy, audacious intention that I can claim for myself in 2015? And let yourself be inspired by divine intuition. And when you know it, write it down. And while you're writing that down, I'm going to invite our practitioners and our practitioner students to come forward. Now they're spread out all over. And they're spread out all over so that you have an opportunity to come to someone and tell them succinctly what your intention is. Give yourself the opportunity to hear yourself speak your intention. And give yourself the opportunity to have someone listen to it and affirm it with you. One of the most powerful things you can do is have someone in agreement with you. Jesus said it this way, where two or more are gathered and in an agreement, I'm paraphrasing, it will be established in heaven and on earth. So you're allowing something to be established not only in your mind, but on earth. You make it more real by gaining this support. So the brave ones, stand up. Come forward. The ones that aren't as brave, watch, notice that no one gets hurt. And come forward and allow yourself to be loved on, blessed on, and encouraged. And I hear that there is a vegetarian burger truck outside. Just saying. It says Plum Burgers, and Plum is vegetarian. So I can't wait to see it's going to be good. So I'm actually looking forward to it. Let's just take our gift and bless it. And I want you to, in fact, I don't want you to do anything, but I'm going to make welcome the possibility that you become the Sangha for this community, that you are the support for this community, that what happens here is because of your support, with prayer, with intention, with service, and especially with gifts. I'm so grateful that I have an intention for myself. Here's my intention for myself. My intention for myself is that I take my consciousness of healing and health. I mean, I get over things so quick. I don't get sick. I have major surgery and I'm out shopping the next day. You guys don't even know what happened. I want to take that consciousness and become an epicenter so that it becomes the new normal for this community. That we know that God living through us can do amazing things as our body. And for this particular spiritual community, I have an intention that we truly allow ourselves to be the gift to the community that we can really be, that we get out from underneath this wonderful, beautiful location and we spread the word far and wide. And I ask that you be the Sangha for that. Bless your gift. Know that the blessing has meaning and that your blessing has power. And I say thank you, God, and so it is.
see trees